We're going up to see Jenny and surprise her with her $5,000 prize.
Jenny, congratulations. You're a Bunnings home ground hero.
Pretty honoured and humbled to be a Bunnings home ground hero.
It's overwhelming actually, it's humbling. It's a nice reminder about why I do this.
But yeah, just the whole sense of gratitude, man, and thankful to Bunnings and TNZ.
Sport. What does it mean to us? For some, it's potential, a promise that we could be better, that the early mornings will be worth it, that we could be champions.
It starts with touch.
This Touch New Zealand event is proudly supported by Bunnings Warehouse.
Tēnā koutou katoa e te whānau, nau mai haere mai ki tō whutupāoro mō Aotearoa ki Õtautahi. Ko Maya Williams ahau, ko Michael Kavanagh, rawa Corey Tauwhare tēnei e noho ana mau ki te kōrero mō nā kemu. Greetings to everyone tuning in with us today and welcome to the 2023 Bunnings Youth Touch Championships, broadcasting from Ngā Punawai in Christchurch, live on Whakaata Māori. Joining me in commentary today, I have two legends not only of New Zealand Touch, but more significantly down here in Christchurch from Canterbury Touch. I have Michael Kavanagh. Michael, morning bud.
Morning Maya, good to be here and also being back at another Youth Nationals. It's cool to be back in our hometown. I think the last time it was here was possibly in 2015 to see the event back in my hometown, and it's great, and I can hear the excitement outside the tent already for our first game in the U16 Boys grade. Just want to acknowledge some of our key sponsors for today. We have Bunnings Warehouse, a proud principal partner of Touch New Zealand, Christchurch City Council, SAS Sport, the proud apparel sponsor for Touch New Zealand, Silver Fern, who's our ball sponsor, and Bartercard, who's proudly backing our referee sector, as long as Trillian Trust. And also to my right here, I have one of the local legends that I've had a lot to do with down here, and it must be pretty exciting to be first up with the 16s grade here. Corey, you had a lot of passion for this grade when I was with the 18s, so what are you expecting to see here first up?
Yeah, love this game, Kava. Love this grade as well. These young fellas are going to come out fizzing, as you can just see straight away from their wee warm-ups with their wee energizers. I'd just like to quickly take this opportunity. The Canterbury Boys were wearing the black armbands in respect out of one of the nannies that's passed away this week, Janet Monsell. So our thoughts and our prayers go out to Dave and Mel Tuliai. They're up at Tai Whakaia Marae up at Whakatane. So thoughts with you people, and hope to see young Tavita turn up tomorrow to join his team.
Cheers for that, Corey. Kev, great to have this tournament back down here. Great to have it back on the map. Super exciting. We've got 19 teams, 19 provinces from out New Zealand participating, 69 different teams from those provinces, over 1,100 athletes, just players here for this tournament. Obviously we need some refs. We've got nearly 120 referees here. This is a massive weekend, and it couldn't be done without the over 100 volunteers. I was walking around this morning just seeing volunteers going left, right and centre. The fields look amazing, to the ground crew, right, incredible fields. I wish I used to get to run around on these fields, but just great to have this tournament back down here and up and running.
Yeah, I think it's testament to the facilities that the kids are going to have the opportunity to play on this weekend. We were lucky enough to have a bit of a walk over the field on our way to the tent this morning, and you can just see how pristine the conditions are out there, and It's been very warm down here over the past couple of weeks, so I believe in the 30s. There was a little bit of a moisture on the ground this morning with a bit of drizzle, but it seems like the clouds have moved away and the sun's going to come out for hopefully some entertaining football this afternoon.
Yeah, I heard that it was like super hot down here, and I get down here last night, it's raining. Wake up this morning, it's raining, so I don't know if the people from down in Christchurch is telling a bit of porkies or whether we're just finally getting the result of all that heat. Anyway, boys, we're kicking into our first game for the tourney. We've got Canterbury versus Taranaki. As you said, I know you two will probably know a lot of these people. The 16 grades, Corey, you were involved in that back in the days, were you?
Yeah, I've been involved with the 16 grades, or most of the youth grades here in Canterbury for the last sort of 4 to 5 years. Canterbury team that we got out here today is quite a well-balanced team. Young Hiddo is probably one of the ones to watch out for. Brother of Haruya, he's been around the traps for a while. Their number 9, Nehana, he's a good wee player as well. And then Ladanian Davis, who's son of Shonny, who's a great athlete, and also Michael Davis, ex-New Zealand representative in touch football and New Zealand Sevens. And then probably my big one to look out for today will be De La Hoya. He's one of those special kids. So.
Awesome. Sounds like that's a gun lineup. Just listening to you, you think that they're going to be at the pointy end of the tournament on Sunday, that they're likely to be playing on field number 1 come late that afternoon?
It's a good question, Maya. I think everyone's probably going to have those questions within all the teams. I think with the Nationals not being run for the last few years, it's probably up in the air. I don't think anyone knows what to expect, but I've seen these boys run. I'd imagine they'll be sort of thereabouts. But I also just watched Taranaki get over Counties Manukau in their first game, so they're looking really sharp and really well coached by Dean.
Kev, you and I had the pleasure of being up at the secondary schools a month ago. What do you notice is the big difference between that tournament in terms of the style of play, the way teams play, versus the 16s, 18s?
I think in terms of the balance, we have so much more opportunity in the secondary school sector now that it's around an expression of interest in terms of getting. There's not really a qualifier tournament anymore, so there's different calibers in terms of balance of athletes across teams. It's not kind of like one group or one school that has 5 or 6 people that are represented at a provincial standpoint. It's allowing a lot more teams to have a bigger balance through the grades, and I think the fact that a lot more schools being involved at the secondary school sector now, we might see a little bit more of representation through the provincial sector. As we just hear the end of the first 2-minute music for our stream of the day. Taranaki going from left to right on your screen, Canterbury going from right to left, as Taranaki are the first team to have opportunity with the ball as we see them approaching down into the 7. Comes on a sweep back door, looks to step back, going through the hole, shut down defence there. Wouldn't expect anything less from this Canterbury group. Been very strong with the corner save defence over the course of the years of when it was first established, and first defensive set they really proved powerful to stop the Taranaki attack.
This is where I see these Canterbury boys will probably be quite strong today, Cabs. They're quite strong on their touch 1, 2 and 3, as we see a wee sneaky play down the side there. Yeah,
Canterbury coming through into the green zone now. Very fast through their yardage set. Good transitional play as they came through the box as well. Looking to set something up to get a good strike on 5. Attacking their 7. Scooping through. Touch made on the line. Good tailing defence there from Taranaki. It's already looking like it's going to be an end-to-end game, Maya.
Yep.
Does that make it a little bit easier for the referees?
Yeah, it's way better when it's end-to-end. No referee likes having to do a yo-yo test in the middle of the field when there's drop balls or in the rucks and stuff like that. What I'd be really excited about as a ref also is just the discipline. The 7 metres seems to be well managed. The players, obviously it's the start of the game, but as you said, Corey, Taranaki already have one game. Ooh, we nearly had got through the middle there. So yeah, referees love end-to-end ones, as much as that may not make sense. You think you have to run further, but it's just a lot easier, particularly when you've got 2 really high-skilled teams.
2 really good sets to start that game off there. Young Taylan from Taranaki, great defence on the back end of that, and then the young Canterbury boy, good defence on the back end of that. So I think we're in for a good one here, boys.
Yeah, and it's awesome to see Taranaki competing at the provincial nationals. I know that they were away for a little bit, but it's awesome to see the commitment and passion that's been drawing through that province to really get themselves back on the map. And we see Canterbury there with an opportunity as they go to scoop through, but just weren't able to put the ball to the ground there, and Taranaki will look to exit here and get to a good transitional set to try and have an answer back there down the other end.
Taranaki's going to want to identify that. That was De La Hoya that we talked about earlier. He's pretty good off the ball out of half, so there's his first strike and it nearly come off for him, so we'll see what he's got here now.
Corey, with having a bit of coaching experience around the 16s, we know that Taranaki have already had their first game this morning and they came off with a win. In terms of, from your standpoint, over your experience, is it easier to kind of come into a battle like this having a game under the belt, or do you think having the fresh legs could pay the difference in this one?
I think just getting one out of the way is probably not a bad thing for Taranaki. The Canterbury boys are still probably fizzing. They're quite excited, even when we were just watching their warm-up and their wee activation game they were playing with their Roxas paper. You know, you could tell there was a lot of excitement in there. So, and the boys, as soon as they can settle into this game, it's going to do good for them.
As we see Canterbury here, just looking to ruck out of trouble as they come towards their sub-box. A very familiar thing that you may see over the weekend. We see a bit of a latch play there as they look to ruck towards the middle to engage that middle defender to isolate a sideline, as we just see them a little bit overbalanced there, but he does well to get out of trouble and into the in goal. Looking for a free player. Winger does well to shake, and there's the first touchdown of our stream today, going to the number 1 in the corner, Tapa Wither.
Yeah, well done for Nico coming out of half. He done really well, took his time. He was quite patient on that. Got to the back end of the line. Here he goes here, coming through the space. Didn't panic. Took his time. A couple of dummies, and yeah, well done to the Weather. He's got a dot down for his team there. 1-0 up to Canterbury.
Yeah, good little shake from the winger there. He's seen that the defensive winger almost closed his shoulders infield and then was able to give a bit of a shimmy, and great patience by the dummy half and the in-goal to be able to find that open man on the wing, as we see Taranaki looking to answer back as they look to go for a little cheapie on the link, but end up throwing it to the open side, looking to gas with a bit of a step back. Thought it possibly was last touch there, but as count 5 gets called, we'll see one last play here for Taranaki as a sweep comes around on the back door.
Looking footwork maybe from Cade here. I know he just releases out to the edge and they'll just play the safety set, see what Canterbury can do, come off the line.
Kev, I often find teams on the 5th, a lot of teams almost look like they never train to do something when you've got a static 5th roll ball. Is there, in all your teams, did you have go-to plays that you would do on the 5th when it was a static play like we just seen there?
Sometimes if it got to...
Here we go again. De La Hoya's back out there. See what De La Hoya's got. Going to have to watch this lad today. He's come through. I think we've got a touch and pass call coming up. Canterbury's just simply going to their box sort of every set of sets, or every set. Quite nice to see them go a bit more direct, see if they can get Taranaki into a bit of a grind, as Taranaki head off to the sideline as well for a bit of a subset. Looking to bust out of the box, coming through to the middle. Comes a strike out of half. So young, I think that's young Levi again. Levi's a great leader here for Taranaki. He's playing well today.
Corey, it's interesting that you talked about Canterbury, how once again we see them going towards their box, and you like them to go a little bit direct. I guess you're meaning by that to go up the field as opposed to just head off to the box and sub.
Yeah, I think if and Dean's a smart operator out of the Taranaki box, I think he'll pick that up pretty early, and if he can sort of get his defensive team working really hard on touch 1, 2 and 3, he might just put Canterbury under a bit of pressure. I quite like to see them just go a bit more direct through the middle, stay strong a little bit, get into the game a bit more, and then just pass it. Sorry, boys, I'm just watching Taranaki here. They're probably two similar teams here. They both head into the box each set of 6, but it's working well for them so far.
One of the things that I noticed in doing a lot of reffing is the Australian teams were very direct in a lot of their transition off the goal line, whereas New Zealand teams, and I've never really seen any province generally all New Zealand teams go to the box. It's almost like, hey, I'm tired, let me get out of here, fresh legs on. And I always felt that was one of the biggest advantages Australia had over the New Zealand teams when I was refereeing, just in terms of the amount of yards gained, in terms of the quality of attack that they could have on the end of those sets. So it's definitely something I've noticed as a referee over the year, and I agree with you. I think when you go direct, I think you can really put a defence under pressure. Ooh.
Yeah, I agree, Mike. That's a great run there. That's a good set. That's young Ladanian Davis. He's kind of the perfect example that we talk about going direct. He'd hang in there and he'd better stay strong at that. He runs about a 4:38 in a Bronco, which for a 15-year-old boy is pretty good numbers. Here's Taranaki coming back, and like you said, they're still doing the subset each set, so they could stay strong a little bit as well. Levi's back out there now. This boy's got a great long ball. That's good defence. Let's shut that down. But hey, good attack from Taranaki. I think both teams on the back ends of their at the back ends of their sets, if they can tidy that touch 4 and 5 up. Here we go here. Unlucky, dishes out well. Good strong defence though from Canterbury. Let's see what they do here. Are they going to go direct, or are we going to go back to the box? I think they're going back to the box again.
Look, just hit the halfway mark, Kev, of this game, just over the halfway mark of the first half. 1-0, which suggests there might not have been much action, but actually it's been pretty end-to-end, pretty attacking, and I guess it's the quality of the defence that has made the scoreboard only be what it is.
Yeah, I think that might be the first set where Canterbury's just broke down a little bit coming off their line, and it just shows that there's legs from both sides here as we see Canterbury looking to scoop from about 25 out, looking to use their speed as a bit of a show and go. Good at keeping the ball alive. We've got numbers here.
La Jolla, Hiddo, off to the edges. Here we go, if we can slide this one in. Well done, good touchdown. The difference there on that attack is they had two of their strike boys, Hiddo and De La Hoya, out there at the same time. And it was good to see that, actually. There's a bit of eyes-up footy. It's a good catch and pass. Coming out to the left here to the link. Didn't let the ball die. Lets it go. Feed off to De La Hoya, back to Hiddo. And just nice soft hands there to the winger, and he's in the corner.
Yeah, unfortunately, I think the fact that there was a lack of structure in that play is probably what caught Taranaki off. They thought it was going to die over on the Canterbury's left-hand side, so everyone on inside defenders just stopped, and then next minute they were all scrambling and trying to shut in, and great drawn passes by the Canterbury boys.
And that's a big work on the boys have had. I know Paul Harris and Mike have been trying to get them to play a bit more eyes up and just play some footy, and there you go, boys. Listen to your coaches and you get the treats. So, Canterbury 2-0 up against Taranaki.
Yeah, and I don't think Taranaki should be too disappointed with what just happened there. It was probably just, they worked really hard for 5 touches through the field, and then just unfortunately they let themselves down at the last touch, and we call that a little bit of the domino effect, where it ended up being just a reaction rather than being proactive off the line. But I just wanted to compliment the fundamentals that's been shown through both teams. I think we've only seen one drop ball, and it came towards the back end of the set at touch 5, and it's a real testament, as a young mind, you can go away from your process and kind of your policies that you have to try and influence the game from an individual standpoint, like wanting to show your exuberance of the youth that you have. But I think that's a testament to both coaches, as we see a nice little wraparound play there from Canterbury to extend this lead to 3 touchdowns to 0, and that's just an opportunist try that Canterbury were able to capitalise on as they get to a 2-on-1. And I think there's some great work rate there from the number 9 there, Nehana, as he follows his pass and then able to see the opportunity as they get to a 2-on-1 on the edges, and the winger unfortunately had to cover too much ground, and Canterbury extend that lead to 3 touchdowns to 0.
Yeah, unfortunately, Case Raven there from Taranaki on the wing just probably got caught watching rather than lifting up, and he almost could have made the touch when that winger caught the ball. But I'm sure the coach would have seen that, and Case would have known that to fix that up in the second half.
Well, that's a great dive. That's a 50-50. That's a close one from Taranaki. That's young Corbin. He's known for a bit of a slide dive, so...
Yeah, really impressed with how the dives developed over the years, Corey. We see that the boys now they actually have the ball in that one hand with the point, and they're getting quite low. So that dive's becoming a lot more effective, and it must make it tough for you as referees, Maya, when those 50-50 decisions are on the scoreline of whether or not the touch has made it or it's ball down first, with that being promoted early to get to the scoreline.
Yeah, it's as we see here, Canterbury just on the end of attack here, drawn pass again. Just that beautiful drawn pass, high skill level for such young lads.
Yeah, once again, we've got De La Hoya and Hiddo coming out together, so obviously Mikey's seen something there that he likes with those two out, so he's gone back to the well, and those two boys have come up with the chocolates. What I'm liking about it now is they've settled into their game. They're just playing eyes up footy. There's not a lot of structure about this, but they are running to space, picking the ball up fast. They get their flow going, and they're going nice and direct now. So hopefully Taranaki can get back in this, get a stopper, because we don't want this to run away from them. I think they need young Levi, their leader, here to step up, and we've also got Cade back out on the ball, so need these two to take a bit of control now for Taranaki and get them back in this match.
As we see a 32 long off the deck with a nice follow. And
well done.
Those were those two players that you were talking about there, Corey, and just seeing Corbin on the line, like he seems to have a lot of patience and control when he's trying to develop something, as we see a first error from Canterbury coming off their line, and this will give Taranaki every opportunity to get their first one on the board.
I'd love to see Talon Fox and Cooper James back on. Their very first set of the game, I was like, oh, here we go. Yeah. I just thought they were very unlucky not to score, but I think those two, if they can be back out there, it'll be pretty dangerous, as we see Talon here.
That's well done. That's good control by Cade. Cade gets down the line, just slows it all down again, and then gets Talon back on the ball. So, these two boys, that's what we're going to need from them for Taranaki. Get these boys back in this game.
As we see on the Bunnings Warehouse replay there, just a nice 32 long, used enough of his speed, and it's something that we probably don't see enough of, but just those little ball fakes in terms of pumping the ball, was able to hold that defence, and then he saw the gap between the link in the middle there and thought, I'll come in here, and that's great momentum for Taranaki into the half as we close in on the last minute of this first half of our first stream of the day, with Canterbury leading 4 touchdowns to 1, as we see another scoop into the end goal. Good patience again from the number 9 there.
Yeah, Nehana's done well there, come out of half really fast. These guys that we talked about at the start, they're really standing up now for both teams, so here we go. Just finds the space, takes his time, gets to the back of the lines, picking off. Seven's done well there, and then Lucas in for his second, I believe.
Yeah, he opened the touchdown account for us in the start of the first half, and then he might have got the last one before half-time, but Taranaki won't want to allow that, as they look to get one back as we move into the last 20 seconds. And once again, looking at that 32 long, that same player with a shimmy. Oh, he had some numbers there, but good touch there by the number 14, Nico from Canterbury.
Taylor and Levi back together again to see what they can work. Drop that one down. It's probably about going to run us into the first half, boys. But she's been a hard and fast game, and they've both played really well. Oh, don't give it up now. Lucas could be off for his third.
And there we have half-time in the first live stream game between Taranaki and Canterbury, with Canterbury up at half-time 5-1.
We're going up to see Jenny and surprise her with her $5,000 prize.
Jenny, congratulations. You're a Bunnings home ground hero.
Pretty honoured and humbled to be a Bunnings home ground hero.
It's overwhelming, actually. It's humbling. It's a nice reminder about why I do this.
But yeah, just the whole sense of gratitude, man, and thankful to Bunnings and TNZ.
Sport. What does it mean to us? For some, it's potential, a promise that we could be better, that the early mornings will be worth it, that we could be champions.
starts with touch.
Here we are, half-time between Canterbury and Taranaki under-16 boys. 5-1 at half-time. Pretty exciting half. The first 10 minutes there, I think we were 1-0, and then Canterbury really just opened the floodgates and Taranaki joined them, Kev.
Yeah, entertaining first game of the day for our viewers out there watching. And as we see here, the Bunnings Warehouse Youth National Touch Championship. We'll just go to the try-lights here of the first half, and it was Canterbury that opened the scoring with just a nice shimmy, and he managed to get on the outside of his middle to find number one for Canterbury there in the corner to open the touchdowns. And then we just see here that we were using the ball here, and Mai asked me about fifth, and that's one thing in Canterbury that we prided ourselves on, was just keeping the ball alive and trying to take every opportunity when it came to that fifth touchdown scenario. And then we saw the same there at the back end. Corey, do you want to talk us through the rest?
Yeah, well, here we go. Just as we come on the highlights here, young De La Hoya and Hiro get together for their first raid, and it's just good eyes up footy. And here's a good one from Taranaki, actually. I think it was Levi getting together. He slides in low and gets one on the board for Taranaki. So that's a great try from Taranaki. Hoping some more of that in the second half.
Kev, if you're Dean Hikaka from the Taranaki coach, what would you be telling the boys? Because looking at those Canterbury try lights, a lot of their tries were scored quite far off the scoreline. They weren't the typical on the 7 setup.
Yeah, they've applied some great pressure through the field in terms of with their orange zone defence system. It's just been that fifth touchdown scenario that's kind of let them down. So if I was over there in the box with Dean, I'd just be talking about, let's find some connection as a unit, especially when it's coming to fifth. You know, we're working really hard through the field. It's just when it's coming down to those moments where we need to work as groups, we're kind of working as individuals a little bit. And if he can fix that up and they start using their fifth touchdown defence system to more effect, then we've got every opportunity here. It's a long 15 minutes in touch football, and seeing the way that Taranaki opened that first half, this game could go end to end, and it's just about opportunities that are taken.
Super impressive to Levi from Taranaki. He's a great leader. He's worked really hard in this game, so the boys can get in behind him and back him up in the second half of Taranaki.
Boys, I might be wrong, but I think that penalty on that last set was the first one of the game, and I think that just goes to the quality of the refereeing in terms of managing and making the big gaps in between the two teams, which I know that's what the teams want, so that they can play the game and we can watch them rather than listen to the refs. So good first half from the refs, and hope that they build on that in the second half.
Yeah, great point, Mauri. I actually haven't noticed the refs, and that's always a good thing. So I think there's 100-odd referees here this weekend. Is that correct, Mike?
Yeah, nearly 120, I think.
Oh, they'll be all keeping Greg Knight real busy over there in the physio tent then.
Actually, you talk about Greg Knight. I reckon he made my career go about 5 years longer than probably it would have. And I don't just mean physically, I mean mentally. I was on the table more than I wished with Greg Knight, and he is just a special man, and his ability to not only fix the calf in terms of the soft tissue, but also the issues up in the head. He's just a great man, and I just owe so much to him, and it's great to see him still going. The referees just have no idea how blessed they are to have a man like Greg in there. Was that a try? That looked far too easy.
I think that might have been a late pass there. Yeah, touch pass called on that one. Canterbury just need to tidy up that touch 4. 1, 2 and 3 is looking really good, but touch 4, if they can tidy that up, they can go on with this match here.
I think we saw that in the first half as well, like in terms of where they're getting at the back end of transition. It's just kind of the balance of the field when they're looking for their strike. A lot of it's having to come through foot speed. If they could maybe just centralise the attack a little bit for their midfield pick, then I think Canterbury could open up this Taranaki defence just a little bit more. But really pleasing to see that they're sticking to their guns and what worked well in the first half, as we see them rucking to the sideline there to give their substitutions time to get onto the field as we cross into the fifth touchdown scenario.
Young Corbin's going to have to push over here into that space between the middle of the link, otherwise, he's done. Yeah, I think they were just a little bit loose there, Cav. Young Corbin worked really hard in attack, and then he did a lot of work on defence, but then he just unfortunately left just slightly big of a gap, and that sort of put Taranaki's defence out of shape, and De La Hoya will pick those things up pretty quickly, as you see here coming out of half. run through that space, takes his time, gets to the back of the line, just feeds it out wide again to young Lucas. For I believe that's a three-peat, yeah? It's 3 tries for young Lucas?
Yeah, I think that's number 3 for the day. So congratulations to Lucas in his first game to get the try scorer tally for the tournament. Off to a good start.
Taylor back out here off the ball. He's done the same thing. Well done.
Taylor and Cooper, they're what's going to bring Taranaki back into this game. Every time they're on together, they look really dangerous, almost like it's a guaranteed score. Took us through this, Kev.
Yeah, as we see the setup there, just isolating back to a save side. No save defence there from the Canterbury player. A bit of a loss of connection as we see the outside unit lifting come in, and then Taylor was able to find that winger in the corner to answer back and make this scored line 6 touchdowns to 2 to Canterbury.
Kev, I see a lot of the Canterbury, well, all of the Canterbury touchdowns are scored out on the wing. As a winger, it must be really frustrating when you feel like you have to mark 25 metres off the field and then it's 3-on-1 in terms of the defence in the middle of the field being broken down. What's it like as a winger, just coping with that?
I have to throw some kudos here to when you have good middles. We'll just talk through Canterbury's 7th touchdown here as we look to the Bunnings Warehouse replay. Setting up for a middle scenario here, good crossover, looking to run a 33 peel play, and then he's able to go outside foot and is just able to hold on to the ball there as he crosses over for Canterbury's 7th. And we haven't seen a play like that today in terms of the 33 peel in the middle of the field, so good change up from the Canterbury side as we look to see a 32 long scenario here from Taranaki, and they've thrown a lot of this out here, a bit of old school Canterbury style as well. We were very well renowned for the 32 long. As we see Tate there for Taranaki looking to cross over, good dive, but equal to the task was Canterbury on defence.
Yeah, good defence for Ladanian there. Ladanian and Nico setting up that try earlier, and then Ladanian staying strong on defence. So I love to see that, Cavs. It's good.
Let's see if this was a hometown call or not.
Gets in nice and low.
What's your call, Corey?
I got 50-50 on that. I'm going to sit right on the fence. You're the ref, mate. What do you reckon?
I always back the refs. They never make a wrong call, great positioning, and that's all that matters.
Plus, I'm from Canterbury, mate. I got one eye open. She played a playthrough here, I feel, and the Taranaki boys have all stopped. The young Jordan just takes his time there. Not too sure what she's calling here, bit of a late pass maybe, touch and pass is it? Yep, here we go, touch and pass for Canterbury. Might have evened up that ledger from the last one then, I feel, mine.
We've seen some great second efforts there here in this game from the number 13, Cade Bridgman. Have you had a little bit to do with this player, Corey? I've noticed that you were talking about him earlier in the...
Sorry, Kevin, who was that? Oh, Cade from Taranaki, yeah. I've had a bit of a sneaky inside word from Dean, actually. I've had a fair bit to do with Dean. He's... sorry, boys, let's go back to the game here. It's a great dive. Yeah, nice move.
No space, no time. The defender right there, and he just held him up, faking like he was going to pass it in, and somehow contorted his body around there, Kev.
How good are these finishes these days, boys? These young guys in there, they just twist and turn and get in the air. Look at this. Right on the edge of the line, dives into the corner. What a great finish.
I find myself laughing when I watch the NRL and they see the wingers do what they do, and I'm thinking that stuff's been happening in touch for the last 10 years. So I imagine that's where a lot of those guys on the NRL have come through.
Yeah, sorry, Kev, I'll go back to Cade. Yeah, a bit of an inside word from Dean. He's one of those fantastic coaches, and here goes De La Hoya again. That's just too easy. He just finds that space, and he's got good footwork, boys. I'd say I'll be keeping an eye on him for the rest of the tournament.
As we look to the replay here, just a good off the deck ball, bit of a show and go, and then was able to use that ball fake, which we've seen from both teams. It's really impressive to see that they're trying to throw out those like little intricacies that can hold up the defence enough to give them every opportunity on the scoreline. As we see Taranaki here going from right to left, looking to get down to the scoreline to answer back to potentially bring this to a 9-4.
There's Tate sweeping around on a bit of a sweeper play here. Kills that one off.
if Taranaki could just maybe balance the field a little bit better, they might get a little bit more opportunity off their 32 picks, which seem to be working. As Taranaki did well to hold the ball there. I think maybe just a bit of an overload in terms of in the same hole, but did well to manage to collect the ball. And we see Canterbury now looking to ruck out of trouble as they cross towards the halfway. Good yards there as they get to the half on 3, and this has been a real pleasing point of this Canterbury team through this game, and it's probably the reason why they're at that 8 touchdowns to 3 scoreline, as we see a 33 peel come to the middle, but some good physical defence there from Corbin. He's been great through this game, and he was letting Canterbury know that they're not going to fall over just yet.
I've got a feeling, Kaz, if I know Mikey Davis well enough, we might get a bit of a Dingo Plus set up here. They might look to fake the link.
And there's that connection I was talking about just at the end of the first half, or the start of the second half, like Taranaki are definitely there. They're just kind of losing those moments where they need to be working in sync, and we see a good physical touch. And just unfortunately, just one step behind the 8 ball there, Taranaki. So definitely some easy fixes moving forward. Just needs to be addressed when it comes to their connectivity, and they'll be a lot better on that defensive scoreline.
Nice. Took his time there, didn't he, Nebo, and just slid in that try. So they're really starting to get into their work now, Canterbury.
Been really impressed with Trillian after the first half. Like he's really come onto the field with purpose, and he's been effective in the 2 tries that Taranaki have managed to get across the line within the second half. But one player that I've seen in the first half was Halsey Damond, and he had a terrific dive, and I haven't seen much of him in the second half. I'd love to see him get some live play opportunities, because the dive that he had in the first half I thought created some real question marks in terms of the Canterbury defence, and it'd be cool to see him at the back end of the second half here.
Yeah, I feel like he's got a bit of vision about him too. When we see him on the ball, he had great vision. So yeah, probably if he can get together with Taylor and Levi, and that'll push Taranaki on. He's a wee show X here. They're really starting to run the ball around now, Canterbury. That's a nice finish in the corner there.
Oh, Corey, talk us through this. This is some old school plays that we're seeing here. Like Mikey's really gone into the talk.
Mikey's brought out the tick and tack here. Yeah, so here we go. We got a middle latching onto the other middle, trying to get the defending middle to bite, and then the links come back door, and he's found the space. Got a bit of a bite out of the Taranaki defender. Winger didn't have much choice to do there except for come in. So here we go. The back door come in, the wee X. He's run it to the line, squared up his hips, and he's fed off well. So hey, Taranaki defended that little quite well, but unfortunately the middle bit early, and they got that latch on and sent that back door coming. Here we go, Taranaki on the line again.
The good old show X. I haven't heard that since I really first started. It was up in Hamilton, X-Men versus Tamatoa, when they used to call moves like that, and I haven't heard that for years. So,
yeah. Mikey Davis has really gone back old school with this team, and I love it.
I think it's something in touch that's really underrated, is just the basic show, like the effect that it can have on a defensive line or an individual
Here
purpose.
comes Levi out of half. Yeah, nice. That's a great try. Well done, Levi.
And there's Damond. I talked about him just before, that his vision to get to the line with his dive was terrific in the first half, and I was excited to see what he could do in the second half. And it's come towards the end, but there's still time on the clock for him to hopefully get a few more, as he just sees that the outside foot there of the number 4 from Canterbury hadn't quite made the line, and then rather than going inside shoulder, he chose to dive outside. And great try there from Taranaki as they cross for their 4th, and they bring the scoreline to Canterbury 10, Taranaki 4, with 2 minutes 30 left in this game. And Corey, if we know Mikey and the competitive nature that he has, like 10 won't be enough for him at this point. Like, he'll want to keep making sure that they put some tries on the board and don't stop, and they really play out this 30. Would I be right in saying that?
Oh, dead set, Kaz. I mean, 10 tries is pretty good. You know, we talk about the De La Hoya and the Hiddos and that, and we know De La Hoya's probably got 3 or 4 in them in a game. I mean, the boys have got points in them, so there's another one coming up, I think. Yeah, these boys are just starting to relax into their role now. But yeah, like we go back to that, Cavs. You know, you need all these good teams. You got to have 6 to 8 points in here. We know Canterbury's got that in them. I think where Mike will want to tidy up is on his defence. Taranaki's been very good in their short game close to the line. Mikey's going to have to fix that because you've got these Whakaata boys lining up and the Counties boys, and we all know how good they are on the line. So I think that'll be their work on. Taranaki can take a lot away from this game. Like I say, they've been really good on the line. Their defence has been good on touch 1, 2 and 3. If they can tidy up their goal line defence as well, they'll do good for the rest of the tournament.
Yeah, as we see Taranaki here through Trillian again, he's had a lot of success through the second half, been effective in 3 of their 4 tries, and again creating question marks of this Canterbury defence. And you just talked about it as well, Corey, that is something that Canterbury will want to fix, or at least work on moving forward, as they've really shown themselves as contenders through this first game of the day for them, as they're currently out at 11 touchdowns to 4, as we see a nice 32 long again. And there's that follow that wasn't able to be pulled off in the first half, but they've managed to see that hole there. And as we look to the Bunnings Warehouse replay, Corey, talk us through this one.
I think that's Taylor and Levi again, is it? They've gone for a wee. Yeah, it's just a simple play there. He's just taken them out wide and then fed the inside ball. He's played really well today, Levi, Taylor, and Kate are probably my pick of the game for Taranaki.
Yeah, I just think every time Taylor's on, he's going on, as you said earlier, Kev, with purpose. He knows what he's doing, and he sets it up 2 or 3 plays out from as soon as he gets on. And so he's very, very good, Taylor. And I don't know if he's in any of the New Zealand systems, but I'm sure if he isn't, he probably will be after this tournament.
Yeah, he's had a good rap today.
And I think we can really pay credit to Taranaki. Like sometimes when scorelines can blow out, as it was looking like it could, like you can really drop your head as we hear the hooter there to end the game. And they've really stuck in it. Like every opportunity that they've had, they've done it with purpose. And even on the defensive line, it's just been a little bit of connection errors that have let them down. But they've made sure they played out this 30 as we look to
There's our one last finishing try here, boys. Delaware again on the ball. He's just got such good vision. He sends his mate Jai in for a try.
And there we have it, whānau, the end of our first live stream game today, as we see Canterbury under 16 boys convincingly take this one against Taranaki 12-5.
This Touch New Zealand event is proudly supported by Bunnings Warehouse.